If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.
Excuse me! Taxi! Come on, what are you doing?
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Arzu Malik, a staff member of the Mamdani people back in the state office days. She has a certain view of the world that I think it's reasonable to wonder why Mamdani would hire an individual like this for their office. See, what makes us nervous is a lot of folks of her ilk, right, of her mindset, seem to be saying that violence is actually A-OK. And that's what really concerns us. And it seems like, I don't know, I hate white supremacy, but from what I see, we don't have any bombs being thrown around America lately, or quite frankly, anywhere in the world over white supremacy. I see a lot of bombs and missiles and all kinds of things where the root cause, you could say, is Islamic jihad. Is that fair? I think that's fair. Hey, I put on Twitter my genuine thoughts about this James Tallarico character. Is that his name? I mean, the guy is everybody. I was worried about him myself. I didn't think about the issue deeply enough. James Tallarico. He opens his mouth. Seems like a smart guy, right? For a second or two. You give it a little bit more inspection, you realize, when you look at the other stuff he said. This guy, they ask him a question. What do you like, instead of your friends and family, what do you love the most in this world? And he said, trans children. Now, that's a creep who should not be around any children. He looks very professional, very up and coming, very much like Pete Buttigieg. Oh, I like him. He's smart. No, he's not. He's a demented weirdo. And I think Ken Paxton has nothing to worry about from this guy. John Cornyn? I don't know. I think I'm going with Ken Paxton, who was right in that chair not too long ago. I think Ken Paxton should be the guy. He could easily beat Cornyn and easily beat this guy. I know he's got baggage. Hey, who among us does not have baggage? My hand is sky high right now. I got plenty of baggage. You've got plenty of baggage. This guy did this, that, and the other thing. Guess what? That's part of the deal. We all screw up. We are all worthless. We are nothing without God, and I believe Ken Paxton knows that. So here's James Tallarico, the Democrat nominee for the United States Senate. I remember when that used to mean something. In Texas. Texas! Don't mess with Texas. Hey, what did I say about this guy on my Twitter here? It's pretty good. It's actually getting a lot of pickup from Democrats who are very upset. I said, at Greg Kelly USA, I absolutely guarantee this Tallarico character will lose by 30 points. He has a fetish for trans kids. That don't fly in Texas. And he has said a lot of other weirdo things. Hey, James Tallarico, stay the hell away from all kids. And don't mess with Texas. Fair enough? I think so. So it has the veneer of polish, right? Oh, well, a lot of people don't really begin to think about these matters, but we have on this program, and we also have been consulting with Barbara for many, many years now. And this whole notion of separation of church and state, they have construed that to mean you are not allowed to practice religion in any kind of public setting. And that is false. And that is not what the Founding Fathers said. Freedom of religion can be practiced wherever you are, including a government building. And this double talk about the 10 Commandments, now suddenly there is a universally agreed upon 10 Commandments, Judeo-Christian society, Judeo-Christian values governed the Founding Fathers. Some of them said it out loud. Now, yes, some of them were atheists, but all of the institutions of America, all of our kind of comings and goings, from the HR department to, quite frankly, St. Patrick's Cathedral, right and wrong, good and bad, it all comes from God. It all comes from our Judeo-Christian values. And I just think that this guy, he reminds me so much of Pete Buttigieg. The only time Pete and this guy talk about faith is actually to use it as a weapon. Like, you see, I'm conversant in the issues, and I will use it against Republicans, right? That's the little. They never, by the way, talk about the joy of actually knowing God, the beauty, the wonderful things that can happen. If, oh, by the way, you obey the 10 commandments, and have I strayed? You better believe it. But have I been picked up and repaired? You better believe it. That's the best part. That's the best part. He also is fond of trans children. Is that it, right? Trans kids? Yeah, it's the same podcast. He expresses a love for trans kids, which is, I think, a little bit outside the job description of a senator, don't you? Right? Trans kids. Why would he say such a thing? Go ahead if you don't mind with that.
Something that you love that's not family or friends.
I love, I'm just saying this because it's on my mind, the trans children who showed up yesterday at the state capitol to advocate for their humanity. They shouldn't have to, but it was an inspiration to watch.
It's an inspiration to watch trans kids. Now, did they show up to express their humanity, or are their parents abusing those kids? Is Big Pharma also trying to profit from those kids? And are Democrats trying to harness those kids for greater political power? And academia to impose yet a new set of fake rules on society using a language that only they understand, that they design. And if you say the wrong thing, you are in trouble. You run the risk of being canceled. You run the risk, the most extreme behavior. If they can get away with this, what can't they get away with, right? It's just trans kids. He's infatuated with trans kids. Maybe these kids are gay. Maybe we could let them figure it out once they're 18. Got to advocate. Advocate for what? Advocate for what? Puberty blockers? Hormonal therapy at the age of 11? Are you insane? You are insane. You're insane. And you have a lust for power. This is all a trick to get. Pete Buttigieg is the same way. Politics. It's just a way for him to go to those parties in California and those subterranean wineries. You hear about that guy, right? Pete Buttigieg. 4 documentaries about the guy on Amazon. 2 books. Now, why is that? Mostly, quite frankly, with him. I don't know about this Tallarico guy, but I have my suspicions. It doesn't really matter, but when it is your primary selling point. Now, forget Tallarico, Buttigieg. It was all about being gay, right? If you look at all of the political reporters, by the way, 80% of political reporters happen to be gay. And what does that mean? Nothing really. Nothing really, except that they, I don't know, that seems to pervade and permeate their coverage. There's no explanation other than Pete Buttigieg's sexuality to justify the kind of coverage this flaky mayor of Nowheresville, Indiana got. You know, there was another mayor who ran in 2020 as a Democrat, and nobody gave a damn. And he represented a city twice as large as Nowheresville, Indiana. I think, what was it? South Bend, Fort Wayne, Indiana, one of those places. And there was another guy from Miramar, Florida. He happened to be black. He happened to be married to a woman. He happened to have children. And his city was twice as large as South Bend. But nobody paid him any attention. Why not? Because nobody would pay any attention to a mayor who wants to be president. It's absurd. But a mayor who wants to be president who's gay and is sophisticated and talks our language, that's a story. What a corrupt, crazy, fallen world. And I'm supposed to feel like the rogue. We're supposed to feel like we're on the outer edges. A politician openly talking about his love of trans kids. You can talk about it, but you better not do it because we have laws about that and you could be arrested. Be right back.
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy.
Download and subscribe
at BeBullish.com.